I just wanted to do this video to show you guys. I'm gonna load my Empire campaign. I just finished it, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that you may take into account when you plan to do the transition. If you are on the fence, well, this is going to be a good video for you. I'm gonna explain you what were my first impressions when I first did the campaign, and how, in my point of view, how did I saw all of these things coming from a historical perspective, historical buff perspective. I mean, someone that likes to play the historical titles. Yeah, I was skeptical at first, but at the end, I think this thing was worth it. Stick with me, and you are going to find out why I'm telling you that. So, first of all, we're going to talk about the UI and how does it feels, because there's a lot of things here, including the map. It feels a lot like Attila map. This is pretty much the Attila engine. This is using the this was released after Attila, so this is pretty much like that. The map feels like that, the music feels like that, everything feels like that. You can hear the music right now. Just have a look at the music. So basically this is a mod for Attila, and I really like it. You have a very simplified UI here in terms of what you can see here. You can see treasury, and you can see over here some of the buffs that you have, including supply lines and recruiting surplus, stuff like that. You have your bonuses for each of the factions. So the first thing is the UI is pretty much as the UI for Attila. If you go to the diplomacy section, you will see even the same voices.
You come to Bretonia, stranger. I am its king. Let us hope you leave us friend.
And let's see, for example, the dwarves.
Welcome, men of the Empire.
Do not greet me as a friend, nor are we foes, yet.
So you can see over here that this is the same. So the other thing that you're going to see is everything here looks and feels like that. You can go for record statistic. Everything is the same as Attila. So that's the first thing. Even this thing here, this is the thing that most resembles and make me feel like if I am in a mod for Attila. So that's the first point that I wanted to make. Okay, I have some notes here. So the other thing is that there's a lot of interesting character customization. By that I mean the fact that you can go, let me see, over here. No, it's not here. I'm gonna select one of the characters here. Over here, this guy is
Let us begin.
the Supreme Patriarch Balthasar Gelt. So this guy, you go and click here in character details, and you're going to have all of these customization possibilities. So this is going to function as an RPG inside the wargame. So you have the option, for example, to change different types of armor that will give different things. They are classified in common, uncommon, rare, and stuff like that. You have weapons, talismans, you have enchanted items. I believe that some of them you're going to be able to see them inside the actual battles. And mounts, you have mounts. The thing is that mounts are tied to the skills. So if you want to mount, you need to unlock the skill to have the mount. For example, the Warhorse or the Quicksilver. This is a Pegasi, which is a, well, it's a unicorn Pegasi, which is this guy here. Yeah. Well, actually, it's not exact. I'm not sure if it's a unicorn. Well, whatever. So everything that has to do with customization of the character is tied to that. You have followers and banners, and you can simply, as you move on and as you win battles, you're going to get and unlock all of these things that are going to give you different stuff such as income trade and different things like speed and stuff like that. You have the taxes here. There's a lot of taxes, but the only thing that you can do is to tax the province or not to tax the province. That's it. You cannot increase or decrease the taxes, so that's why I'm saying there are non-existent. So take it whatever you want. You need to have monsters. These are, for example, because we're
I
in a
am
fantasy
ready.
world, we have different
Are you?
things such as this. It's going to show you the Wikipedia for this thing. This is a steam tank. This is something that, because the Empire has this steampunk situation. They have 17th century units, including some of the Great War units, something like tanks and stuff like that. But that's the reason you have that, and you have monsters as well. If you go here, you can see different type of creatures. These are Demigryph knights. Let me show you the actual um the actual. This is Franz,
Ready.
Karl Franz, and with him, well, these are normal units, and that's it. Monsters are those things. But for example, let me go to the north. Here you can see different
Your
creatures.
will.
If I am able to show you. Thing is that there are monsters because this is about fantasy. So monsters will evidently have a completely different tactical approach when you are doing the battles, because usually you are tied to formations, because the balance in this wargame is different. In the historical titles, you rely on historical formations and tactics. In Warhammer, you have our power units that will change completely the way you play each battle. Uh, Now agents, all of these things that are over here,
The nation calls.
these are battle mages and agents, heroes, and stuff like that. You also have the possibility to drop the agents
So,
inside the actual the actual stack, and they will become an actual unit inside the roster. So, sorry, it's not that. So, for example, if you go here, you can create via the skills. You can create some sort of powerful unit here. Let me show you. This is one of the most important. No, it's not that one. I think it's called Comet of Cassandora. Is the most iconic one that when you see. This is a battle mage that will use spells. This is the spell browser for all the spellcasters. So because this is fantasy, you're going to have the possibility to either create a
what?
a tactical unit with this
Pick
one,
up the pace.
and you can see that it becomes as well
Call from the
an
heavens.
agent that you can send to do different missions. For example, you can assault the unit or assassinate, and you
Ready.
can treat it just as any agent in other Total War games. But the thing is that you can use them inside. You can see I have different types of quote unquote agents. So, as you can see, I have here a witch hunter, warrior priest, and light wizard. You can recruit them over here. So you have the recruit lord. This is a normal lord, which I'm not able to show you right now. And then we have the so-called heroes that are agents, witch hunters, warrior priests, or empire captains. Every one of them are going to have their own abilities. For example, this is a warrior priest, a battle mage, which will, if you deploy it, it will increase growth, so on and so forth. I can show you, for example,
Cleanse
now
the
that's the
empire.
same. I can show you instead I'm gonna show you these guys because these guys are inside this.
Yes, my lord.
So let me
Pick up
show
the
you. This is
pace.
a witch hunter. This is a battle mage, and then we have a hero. A hero is not present here.
So,
This guy, for example, if you deploy it, it will modify the income generated by enemy buildings
the
and stuff
nation
like that. So that's
calls.
the thing. Um, the technologies over here. Sorry, the technologies over here very quickly. These are not tied to any dates because there are no dates. I'm going to talk about just in a second. But technology add buffs, and it's very simplified as you can see. And this holds true for Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 3. So technology is simply a way to add buffs. Is going to give you different things. Obviously, each faction is going to have different buffs. Then you have this thing of the quests, the missions and quests. Let me show you this one. For example, if you click
The Empire.
Karl Franz and you want to do the cloak, the silver seal, sorry, you're going to teleport this guy here and you're going to have the mission. When you do the mission, you cannot, this is a quest mission, you cannot auto resolve here.
Make haste.
I'm just going to retreat. He's going to send him in the same place, but you can teleport. These are quests that appear everywhere. And for example, it says here, it clearly says that this is the vampires have chosen to fight, and if we win the following battle, we're going to have a reward of bonus experience and the silver seal, which is a unique artifact that you're going to then be able to put inside your character
Here.
over here. So you can see weapons, talismans, enchanted items, stuff like that. So quests are very nice because they added for the role playing, and this is going to give you a lot of role playing capabilities here. You're going to enjoy those. Turns are infinite because turns are not tied to certain dates, so you can go and continue clicking here and ending the turn infinite amount of times. The thing is that obviously when you begin, you're going to have these chaos warriors that are going to come from all directions, and they appear in every certain amount of time, but that's it. There's nothing tied to the times or to the turns. Turns are infinite. So yeah, talking about the things that you can see, all of these places that are destroyed. These were destroyed by the Chaos Warriors. Chaos Warriors treat the Chaos mechanic as if you were treating the Horde mechanic for Attila, because it takes from that. It takes from Attila Horde mechanics, but the Chaos Warriors are something like this. For example, you can see this one. This one is a vampire count rebel, but this is a rebel faction. This thing, for example, is a vampire lord with a vampire. It's a vampire faction that, for example, you can see over here, corruption is the mechanic that is completely different. It is either corruption for the chaos or corruption for vampires, depending on which factions are your. This area over here is part of the vampire counts, and if you haven't conquered this area, then you're going to have vampire corruption. Vampire corruption, for example, here you can see in the capital we have 2% vampire corruption. You can you can diminish the corruption, reduce the corruption with several buildings, and you can use as well some of these guys. For example,
The nation
I think this
calls.
one, the witch hunter. Witch hunters have this ability. I think the battle mages as well. They have this ability of blessed by Volkmar, which will reduce vampire and chaos corruption. But that's the thing. Some factions are chaos factions. For example, the northern factions here. These guys when they move into your territories, they're going to start producing chaos, corruption over there. And the more it goes up, as you can see, the more is going to have um, penalties. It's going to give you a lot of penalties. So that's another thing to take into account if you're transitioning. Um, I already talked about the ability to recruit lords and different battle mages. You can select different types of schools in here. And yeah, the map is very immersive, as you can see, is huge. I like the map because the map just this river is so amazing because it's so big. Obviously, you have the normal rivers such as this one, but we are accustomed to see these things. Uh, I mean, this is the first time that a river like this appeared, and it is very, very loyal to the canon. Because if you read the books about the Warhammer history, Warhammer fantasy books, and you read the map, you're going to see how they created these so beautifully. So this is a work of love indeed. Here you can see that there's this is the area of the other human factions. As you move, look at this beautiful Pegasi flying here. As you move, you're going to have different um, the mood is going to change. As you can see, this is the Empire area, and as you move north, you can see the the snow and how it changes. The mood changes as you move into here. For example, here is pure desert. This is the area where the orcs live. You can see these are the mountains, and the mountains have all of these amazing uh, fortresses, dwarf fortresses. You look at this. This is amazing, isn't it? These are the mountain dwarfs, and then you have as well the elves over here, and the mood changes every time that you zoom in, and you can feel the difference. Now, magic winds. There's magic winds. I'm gonna show you here. This is another thing that is present here. Magic winds. You can see here, this is the map of the magic winds. Some areas are -50. The bluish areas are better. If you are a magic user, I'm going to use Balthasar Guild because Balthasar Guild is a magic user, has this bar here. There's guys that are not magic users. This is simply a lord. A lord can be recruited here. Okay. There's no lords present right now. But this is a normal guy without any magic. But Balthasar Gelt in here, he has this thing here. I think even Franz does not have. Where's Franz? It's easy to get lost in here. Okay, whatever. So here we have Balthasar Gelt. If you see here, you can see Winds of Magic blowing 0. You can also see it from here. Balthasar Guild is located over here. If you go and click here for the military force filter, this guy is in an area that has no magic wind, so this thing is not going to charge. What is this? Well, this is the mechanic in which each spellcaster will have this bluish bar, which is the Winds of Magic, and it can recharge. You can go for the stances and go for channeling, and channeling will increase the Winds of Magic for the magic user. So for example, if you move here, let me see if that, yeah, here we have a lot of Winds of Magic tempestuous here. So if you move here, by the soul movement, by simply going in here, you're going to you can see the difference here.
Very well, I'll move.
So for example, if you're here, you just go here and you can try to channel this magic into the magic user by using that stance.
Yes, that will do.
Okay, obviously there's the same stances that we already know, the forced march, ambush stance, raiding, and encampment stance, but this is the new stance that you have to take into account. Unit rosters are pretty unique. You can see just by clicking different unit stacks, you can see different type of units. We have plenty of units, especially here with
Who calls?
these guys. They have mortars, cannons, and stuff. They use halberds, pikes, and muskets. But the
For
dwarves
the wisdom of the
are
land.
completely different. And then you can see as well
Attack!
here, the vampire counts, they have even skeletons and grave guards, black knights. You can see the difference in between units here. It's pretty clear. You can go again and see the
Now
orcs. They
I.
have thousands. There are thousands and thousands of units. Well, there's plenty of units. Just it's it's crazy. And yeah, we talked about the magic wins the corruption mechanics, which is chaos and vampires, the forces of good and evil. So chaos is the opposite of good and is a constant threat. If you are at the beginning, you're going to see that. This one here, you can see the chaos present in here. This is another thing. This mechanic of chaos and vampire influence is going to be shown on the map. Right. Just for the sake of showing you, I'm just going to move this guy here and end the turn. Okay, so I'm just randomly going to declare war to these guys, just for the sake of showing you that there are some places that you cannot take. Okay, I'm just going to auto-resolve. Look at this. And this is the only option that you have, sack or raise. I'm going to raise it, so this is the same Attila mechanics, but you cannot take it. So this is the other thing. There are certain factions that can take certain settlements, and certain settlements are not. You're not going to be able. I think settlements that are on mountains are just only can be taken by dwarfs. I'm just guessing here, and orcs. That's the more logical thing. And humans can only take settlements, regions that were part of human factions before them, even humanoid factions such as vampires, such as that. So, yeah, when you're in a battle, the battles are more fast-paced in comparison with historical titles, so you're going to have a lot of cinematic, good-looking battles. This is something good about it, because I have never seen something like this. And I think this is where Creative Assembly nails the situation of wargaming in the industry, because I've never seen something more cinematic than this thing. So hopefully this was a very useful thing. If you are thinking in transitioning, this is something that you should watch. Don't forget to subscribe, give a like, and share the video. If you know someone that wants to do the transition but is not sure, you can send him this video. And yeah, of course, in terms of battle, you have the generals, the one entity generals. That was something that people were not very fond of. It's completely good. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, this was Victus. See you in the next one.